areas you want to work on?
The 3 areas that I want to work on today for my speech are eye contact, because I notice myself like wandering eyes, speech fillers, and then maybe slowing down a little bit. Lynn, Lynn. So for my birth story, the 3 main points that I want to talk about are when my mom got pregnant, during the labor, and then afterwards. So when my mom got pregnant, she wasn't really happy. She didn't want to be pregnant because I have 2 older siblings. I already have a brother and a sister, so for her that was enough, like 1 boy and 1 girl. And my brother is 7 years older than me, and my sister is 5, so it's not a huge difference, but I was an accidental baby, and my mom didn't like that. This carries on through my birth story. But yeah, it's kind of upsetting, but that's not the point. So during the pregnancy, my mom didn't really like it, but her mom, like my grandma, is really loving, and she's the person who really raised me. So my grandma's super happy and like loves kids and wanted more kids, and so did my dad. My dad's a great dad and always wanted more children. Just my mom isn't really a motherly type, but we have my grandma for that. And so when she was pregnant, I was born in Fountain Valley Hospital, and my grandma was the one who took her to the hospital, and my dad wasn't around because at the time they were starting up a new business, and my dad had his first phone call delivery for his business pretty much the time that my mom went into the hospital. So my dad calls me the lucky baby, because from there my parents were able to move away from poverty lines because they had just immigrated from Vietnam. So because of that, they were able to start a better life and move somewhere really nice for their kids and for them, and get their own house and everything, because they were living with my grandma at the time. But also my dad wasn't there for the pregnancy, or for the giving, not the pregnancy, but for giving birth. So my mom hated him because 1, she didn't want to be pregnant. 2, she hated her pregnancy and said it was really miserable, and then my dad wasn't even there for that. But I don't think that's a huge deal, but maybe it was. But I haven't given birth, so I don't understand part about that. But he was there for my brother and my sister, so he did show his support in that sense. And then after I was born, some people come here and we're talking about how their older sister was jealous and stuff, but I think my brother and my sister both love me a lot, and they still baby me to this day. Even though they aren't that much older, they both like to act like they're my mom and my dad and tell me things and what to do. But I feel that's how a lot of older siblings are. So growing up, I didn't really get along with my mom much, but she likes to say it's because she worked 2 jobs and went to school, and that's all true. But now she's laid back, and she still doesn't like kids, and she'll still say she doesn't like kids. And so my grandma was one who cooked and cleaned and took care of us, drove us to school every day, took us home. She pretty much lived at our house, even though she had her own house, and stayed with us through everything, because my mom would only be home from the time of 2 in the morning till 6 in the morning. So she wasn't around much until I was 16. And then when she started being home, that's when I got kicked out. So from then, I haven't lived at home for about 4 years now. But my mom and I are trying to build a better relationship, and we're making big efforts to mend broken time, I guess. And even my brother and my sister don't really talk to her, and she's just kind of an outsider, even though she's her mom. But my dad will always support her and say that she's a great mother, because they love each other. But those are the 3 main points of my birth story. I kind of talked about my mom a lot, and then the pregnancy, the labor, and a little bit of afterwards.